Coming up in this episode of Behind the Sound.
Arjing, and then it just became, Jing, come here, can you bring me that one? Jing, come here, don't forget your panty. She calls all Filipinos, they call underwear panties.
That's
like,
like my
mom, why you, I don't wear panties. Arjing, don't forget your panties.
Play life like a Chico.
Check it.
I know we ordinary people, yeah.
I never reload the clip, OG know the hits, lyrical spits, and we go from zero to this, and I'm a hero in my own show, this ain't a sequel. We know that ordinary people ain't equal. It's going down, people gather around, grab a mic, let's rap, it's behind the sound. It's going down, people gather around, grab a mic, let's rap, it's behind the sound. Welcome to this episode of Behind the Sound. I am so pumped to have this next guest on the show. If you haven't seen this cat around, what rock have you been living under? He has been performing and opening for all of the largest hip hop acts around. He kills it on social media, was recently named one of Edmonton's most influential people and was the only artist, the only black artist on that list by University Magazine. My guy knows how to do things properly, and the way that we met was truly serendipitous, and I always say that everything happens for a reason and the stars will always align for a reason. And if it feels like they're not aligned, it's because they are about to. And so I'm going to share the story about how we met. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only OG Jonah, baby.
My guy, RJ, thank you for that intro. That's the best intro I've ever got.
Oh, you deserve it, brother. I appreciate you, man. It's really quite incredible, the things that you are achieving right now. And I just feel like good people attract good things. And you are truly one of those cats. And I want to open by starting with how we met, okay? Because I think a lot of people, you know you around town, you work with schools, I see you at Sobeys, like there isn't anything that you're not up to. And when we met, it was surprising that we hadn't crossed paths yet, but I was leaving the studio probably a couple of years ago now, at least, right?
Yeah.
And I looked over at the shelf at a camera cage that had been sitting there. You know, I hadn't used it in a while. I took it off one of my cameras, looked at it. I'm like, you know what? I should get rid of that thing and sell it. Go to the barbershop. Who is at my favorite barbershop? The one and only OG Jonah taking on a marketing campaign for Shadified.
Yep.
Of course, we get to chatting.
Yep.
I see we're talking camera gear and all that kind of stuff. And then you're like, yeah, you know, I just bought this. I'm going to build it out. There's a few things I want to get for it, like a cage and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, come to the studio right after this. I got a cage for you, man. And immediately you were one of those cats who were like, this is a good dude. This guy is a good dude. I enjoyed our conversation right away. And I'm gonna enjoy having you on the podcast. So welcome to Behind the Sound.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here, RJ. I've been seeing the episodes and, you know, I'm honored because this is such a huge platform. We've had a lot of huge names here. And
thank you, man.
Like you said, the way we met was so random. It was literally that day I was talking with my friend. I'm like, yo, I need a cage. Met you, talking about camera gear. You literally had a cage. You sold it to me for like next to nothing. Bro, I really appreciate you.
It's crazy,
You're
man.
a solid guy.
It's really crazy. Tell me what you're up to. Tell us all what's going on because, like I said, there isn't anything that you're not doing. It feels like you're doing shows, you're doing marketing and promotions. Yep. You come into this studio space and the first thing you do, you're filming a promo for tomorrow that you got coming out. Like the hustle and grind is just next level. And it seems so strategic and thoughtful and organized. You know, that's what I really appreciated about it. So tell us everything that you're up to right now.
Well, I got a lot going on tomorrow. I'm going to be at Belmont School. I'm performing for the school there. They have an event called Community Night. So I'm going to be holding it down as the only artist there. You know, a lot of the students are fans of mine. In February, Black History Month, I have several more schools I'm going to be performing at in Edmonton, St. Albert, Morinville, and all over. I teamed up with Belmont Sobeys as their lead shopper, as we call it, as a brand ambassador to help, you know, bring more eyes and traffic to their store, even though it's a very bustling store, great place. Shout out to Jerry from Belmont Sobeys and the whole Belmont Sobeys crew. They're amazing people.
So how does that happen? Is that just a brand deal that came together? Somebody approached you or you approached them? Explain to these youngins out here who don't really understand the business side and the marketing side of a brand, because talent is everywhere. You're a talented guy. There's a lot of talent out there. The difference that separates good from great are these different pieces where you're able to market and promote yourself and get yourself to a larger audience. And Sobeys is a big brand. So how does something like that happen?
So the same way you and I met, random.
Yeah.
But preparation met opportunity. So I was able to capitalize on it. You were able to capitalize on it. Sobeys, how I met the owner of Sobeys, I was booked by the city of Edmonton to perform at the Clairview Rec Center. They had an event unveiling the new skate park. So I was there, obviously with my camera crew, my people there, all the kids around taking pictures and stuff. And Sobeys was one of the sponsors for that event. The owner loved my performance so much. We got to talking and he's like, hey, I own the store up the street. So literally just like that, randomly, but I was prepared. I carried myself in a way that he saw. He's like, okay, I like this person. I like their energy. This is someone who I want to work with. You know, so I'm very cautious of the platform I have. And I know that I've got a lot going on for me and I'm going to meet people when I don't know. I'm least expected. So I always have to be on my A game. So I just grew up in an immigrant household. So your parents are always telling you, look, you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared for anything because you're a visible minority. Obviously, Edmonton's a great place, but nowhere in the world is perfect. So growing up with my parents and like primarily my mom, she really shaped me for the world. And now as an adult, I'm just always able to be in different places and navigate my way through rooms and just present the best version of myself. And honestly, it's second nature because it's not an act. It's not a mask. I'm just being who I truly feel is the best person to be.
Good for you, man. And that is such a huge deal. That's, I think, why I got that vibe that I did when we first met, because here you are on set, working, setting up cameras, setting up a light in a time that is a sort of a high stress scenario, not super high stress. You're on your own and it wasn't a super high stress set, let's say, right? Yeah. But still, you're setting up and you're working. Mm-hmm. That is kind of a scenario where a lot of people aren't their best selves. Yeah. They crack under the pressure and they can't handle it, and a little bit of stress freaks them out and true colors come out. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. And so in a scenario like that, I met you and your true colors came out and they were beautiful, right? Like you're a good dude. And that's the vibe that I originally got. Another thing that you mentioned, so that was a great lesson that I think your mom taught you, as you said, is that there's somebody always watching and listening. Yeah. Rowena, my wife and business partner, says that to me all the time because I kind of don't have a great poker face. If I'm actually playing poker, I got a good poker face. But otherwise, I kind of show my feelings on my face. Right. And she's like, someone is always watching. You know what I mean? Someone is always listening. And it seems like you've really nailed that. And another thing that I really love what you said about that is being prepared for the opportunity. You know, good luck is one thing, but what happens with that? You can have good luck and have an opportunity present itself and be completely unprepared for it, and you're not able to seize the moment. Exactly. And it seems like the success that's happening for you now, my man, is a continuation of being able to stay prepared and seize those moments. Yes, no, it truly is. And even how I got the school tomorrow I'm performing at, it stemmed from Sobeys. They saw what I was doing with Sobeys. The principal of that school knows the owner of Sobeys because the owner of Sobeys grew up in that area. You know, it's the power of one. Boom, 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 dominoes just knocking off. And like you said, the stars, if they don't feel like they're aligned, that means they're aligning. Yes. And in my life, in my music career, it's been just stars aligning from day one. Obviously, I've had my fair share of no's. I've had my fair share of disappointments, but they all were the stars aligning, but I just didn't see it at the time. And in hindsight, which is 2020, it's like, wow, I'm so happy these things didn't work out. I'm so happy these things did work out. That's why I love it. I came in, you're recording your verse, you're recording some music for some stuff, and I'm like, you record just like me. Hit the space bar, run into the studio, da-da-da-da-da. Afterwards, you're going to mix it up. Like, that's how I operate too, because I learned at an early age, I got to be able to do everything. Yeah. Obviously, as you grow, you need a team, but you got to be able to rely on yourself at the end of the day. And then if you don't know the skills that you need to have, that's how people can take advantage of you, overcharge you, under-deliver. The story goes on. You already know how it is in the arts industry. Yeah, yeah, that's good for you. And it's a different world we're living in now too, in terms of media and the stuff that you put out. It's like you can really wear all of those hats yourself. And I'm not saying everybody can do that. You have a very unique talent. And I think to be able to have that video mastery coupled with the music is a really strong combination that you're able to create content and be consistent with it and stuff that looks really good, you know, because it is a big deal. Otherwise, you know, you can't bring a crew with you everywhere that's filming everything that you're paying, you know, $1,200 day rates. Yep. Sometimes you got to record everything yourself and get down and dirty and do the edit yourself, you know? Yep. And the other piece of that too is that, you know, when it comes to the quality and what you want, you're the real true guy who has the vision for that. And not everybody can bring that vision to life. Nobody's going to care about that vision as much as you will.
Yes.
You know, no matter how well they're paid, it's like they're trying to execute a vision for you. So sometimes handling that yourself is a great way to go about it. When you talk about, so let's go back to the music thing. How did this all come out? What are the origins? Origins and how is music entrenched in your life? Where did it begin and where do you see that trajectory going?
So growing up, my sisters were singers. I have 2 older sisters. They were always in choir, in church choir, in school choir. And personally, I hated music. I hated singing. I'd stay away from it. My mom would put me in choir. The choir director would kick me out because I'd be that kid standing there, hands in my pocket, head down, you know, not singing, not participating because I wouldn't say I had stage fright, but I just wasn't comfortable singing. I didn't have the interest or desire to sing. My sisters were both amazing singers and the pressure was really there. So I was never really attracted to music. And then in high school, as I'm sure you experienced too in high school, maybe you go to some house parties and everyone's just freestyling and having fun. So I was just freestyling in high school and people were like, oh, you're pretty good. You should rap. So I didn't rap in high school, but after high school, one of my friends, his name's Quinn, shout out to Quinn. He was my friend who I was just freestyle with, just for fun, purely for fun. He bought a MacBook. You know, when you get a MacBook, you get GarageBand. He's like, bro, I got a MacBook, I got GarageBand, I made a beat. You got to come over, we got to freestyle on this. I was like, let's go. Pulled up to his house. This is like 2015, back when the headphones had the little, you know, the mic on the headphones. Yeah. Plug that into the MacBook, just recorded that, put it on SoundCloud the next day, and I was a rapper ever since then.
Let's go. That was high school.
No, that was right after high school.
Right after high school.
After high school, yeah.
Okay. How old are you now? 25?
I'm 26.
26?
26, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so it's been a few years. Are you born and raised? What's the history of your family here?
So I'm Nigerian by origin.
Yeah.
I was born in Manchester, me and my 2 sisters. My parents were there for school.
Yeah.
They came here when I was a child, about 5-6 years old, and I've been in Edmonton ever since. So Edmonton is home.
So was it when you started rapping and when you started recording and stuff like that, was it a surprise to your sisters and your mom? Or did they know? Were they like, see, we told you. We done told you, bro.
It was a surprise.
Was it?
It was a surprise. I told my sisters I was rapping.
Yeah.
I remember like it was yesterday. I came up, I'm like, yo, I'm rapping. They looked at me, continue their conversation. And I started spitting it. They're like, okay, you're actually pretty good. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm a rapper now. This is after I recorded that song with Quinn.
Yeah.
And then maybe fast forward 6 months, my first music video came out.
Yeah.
How that happened, we had a cameraman, me and my roommate had a cameraman from Toronto come out. My roommate was a rapper at the time. And he's like, okay, yeah, you can stay at our house, but you got to shoot a music video for me for free.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if you're getting a video, I want a video.
Dope.
Just like that. So then I got my first video that way. My little brother at the time, maybe he was like 10 or so.
Yeah.
All his friends start listening to the song, start playing the music video. They're sharing it around in the soccer dressing room and stuff like that. The parents come up to my mom. They're like, oh, we love your son's music. All the kids love it. She's like, which son? She had no clue. She had no clue.
Music and which son?
Literally. She saw the video and she like couldn't believe it. She's like, when did you start rapping? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, like it's what I enjoy doing. I'm just expressing myself and people like it. I like it. It's a win-win. And like she wasn't a fan at the start.
Yeah.
But now she's my biggest fan.
Right.
Everywhere she goes, she got my merch on.
Yeah,
she's
man.
telling everyone, yo, check out my son, check out my son. Like she gets me a lot of listeners. Like she's amazing. So it's amazing how it's turned around.
Why did she not like it at first? Was it because she thought it was like a gangster rap thing and the music, like, you know, the rap game was different back then?
Exactly. So as a Nigerian, Nigerians are very religious. I grew up Christian, but the 2 major religions are either Christian or Muslim. So as a Christian, grew up in the church every Sunday, suit and tie from this tall, you know, always in church. So having a Christian background, my mom seen my music. She said it made her cry, not tears of joy. It broke her heart in a sense. But I was just expressing myself in the way I knew how to at that time, you know, and I've grown a lot as an artist and as a person over the past almost 10 years of making music. And like I said, she's my biggest fan now. I'll drop a song. I send it to her first before it even comes out. She's sharing it in the WhatsApp group chat to all the aunties and uncles and everyone, and the whole community's behind it now. So it's amazing how it's come.
Yeah, of course. So what was that first song like? What was? Can you remember it? Give me a little snippet of the verse on that. What was the content?
It was drop my first video, ballers. They want to fight in the nightclub. Check already got fucked up. 150s, few doves. Starting at 120s in the garbage. ITD bank, 5-figure deposits. I forget it. You know, I started with nothing. I wanted to push our beamer. All of you niggas stay fronting. I'm blowing up like Hiroshima. So like that was the hook. You know, the song was pretty much just talking because like, okay, I got in a fight at the club like a week before that.
Yeah.
People came up to me and talking about my music, got in a fight at the club. So like that's why I'm like, got in a fight in the club.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how it is. Like you spend in 20s, you save the hundreds and all this, just talking about the trap lifestyle and just the life I was living. Like I moved out when I was 17. So it's not like I was doing this under her roof.
Right.
But it's still, you know, I'm always going to be her little boy in her eyes. So
right. That's pretty young to move out. You moved out when you were 17?
I did, yeah.
What was that all about? You just were ready to be... What?
You know,
how does that happen?
The life I was living, I couldn't live that way in my parents' house, and I just had to take that step. And it was hard finding a place at 17. You know, no one wants to rent to a 17-year-old.
How did you find a place? Did you stay with somebody?
No,
or?
I got my own first place. It was in Riverbend. It was like an old Riverbend, like an older apartment building. Like after applying to everywhere, I finally was able to find a landlord who was like, okay, we'll take a chance on you. I had to pay a big deposit, but it was worth it, and I've been living on my own ever since, and it's been great.
Good for you, man.
Thank you.
I think that's what it is about you too. Like you're 26, that's young to me. I don't know if that feels old to you.
It feels very old.
When you're 44, you'll know how fucking young that really is, bro. You'll realize how young that is. But I think that's why you feel so seasoned, you know, is because nothing will make you grow up like having to do your own fucking laundry at 17 years old and like and pay rent, you know what I mean, and pay a huge damage deposit and have been living on your own ever since. Like that's a big deal, man. I think that's a big factor of why you have this kind of mature aura about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. No, I've always been a mature individual in my own opinion. Like even when I was 17, I was hanging around people who were 25, 26. It's just second nature for me. And then I have 3 siblings. I'm the third child. My little brother's like 10 years younger than me. Yeah. But for a long time, my older sisters who were maybe like 4 or 5 years older than me, they're together, and I always wanted to hang out with them, but they always say, oh, you're too immature, you're too this, you're too that. So I'd always try to be more mature to hang out with my sisters and their friends.
Oh,
so.
The cute little brother, eh? The baby brother.
That's what it was.
I'm the baby too, man. I got my brother 7 years older, so I know what that's all about, man.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good. All your family still around? Are they still in town, or where are your sisters now?
They're all over the place. My dad is out in Portland, so that's why I'm there a lot to see my dad, but I also have a lot of family and connections in Portland. So he's out in Portland. He's a university professor. At the University of Portland. My little brother's down in Portland too. He just finished up.
Oh, you got a little brother too?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a younger brother, Matthew. He's 18 years old, just turned 18. I was in the room when he was born. And now he's 18. But he's out in Portland playing football. He's got a few scholarship offers, so I'm really proud of him. He's doing his thing. My other sister, Blessing, she's down in Florida. She just bought her first house, actually.
Let's go, September. Blessing. Yay.
Yep. Yeah. I told her, have the master bedroom ready for me, you know?
The master. OG don't play. It's got to be the master,
baby. It's got to be the master.
Yeah.
And then my other sister, Emma, she's out in LA. So I got 3 siblings. We're all over the place. Emma's an actor, singer. Blessing works in tech. And then Matthew playing football. So all sorts of different industries, genres, lifestyles.
Cool, man.
Everything, yeah. Cool. And then my mom's still here in Edmonton.
Cool.
Yeah.
What would you say, OG, is the biggest secret to staying as busy as you are?
The fear of failure. You know, the fear of failure, the fear of not reaching my full potential. As a Nigerian, I have a lot of pressure on me. And like as a Nigerian who's here abroad, like I have a lot of family back home. My mom has 9 siblings. My dad has 8 siblings. All their siblings have kids.
All big families.
Some of their kids
then.
have kids. Yeah. Each one of them would kill virtually to be in my position, right? So it's that pressure of knowing that there's a lot riding on me, and I'm under the belief that my life is going to change the narrative of my family's life forever. That's my thought process. So it's like not reaching my goals, not reaching my true potential. And if I don't reach it because, you know, it's not in God's will, that's fine. But if I don't reach it because I'm at home playing video games, smoking weed, eating chips, not doing what I'm supposed to do, I don't even have words to describe the feeling of disappointment that I would have for myself. So that's really what pushes me so hard.
And faith is still a big part of your life?
Oh, of course. Yes, yes. I go to church every Sunday. There was a long time I didn't go to church, actually. Maybe from like age 16 to like 25. Honestly,
Yeah.
I just started going to church last year.
Yeah.
It's like 26, so almost like 10 years or so I didn't go to church.
And so what brought you back?
I grew up in the church, and so many things in my life have happened that it's like, this is God. This has to be God. I can't neglect God. I can't act like God's not real. I know He's real. He's real in my life. So that's really what brought me back to church. I go to Rima Redeemed Church. It's like an African church downtown. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see a lot of familiar faces and such. And
Sure.
it's great to reconnect with God.
Sure. Was there a specific thing that happened in your life, do you think, that you found God again? Or because I was raised Catholic as well, and we went to church every Sunday and every special occasion and every Christmas. But then I just started, and we don't have to make this a whole religious discussion. I think we could do 18 podcasts just on that. But I just started maybe not being agreeable with some of the things that the Catholic Church was doing as an institution, and I just wasn't really going anymore. So I still am a spiritual person, I would say, but I don't go to church anymore. So I'm just curious if there was something specific that happened that maybe brought the light back into your life and made you feel like, you know what, I need to like commit my time and be back in the church.
No, there definitely was. And due to the fact that I have a lot of brand sponsors watching this, I'm going to keep it PG, but there was a life-altering situation. I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah.
And the only possible solution for it was God.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you, and your jaw will drop.
Yeah.
But this happened in my life, and it was like the biggest wake-up call I've ever had. And it was just like God giving me another chance at life.
That's
and
crazy.
saying, look, I've given you so many talents. I've given you so many resources and abilities and network and everything. Are you going to squander it for this?
Yeah.
Or are you going to actually go and be who I made you to be? So that was a moment in my life a few years ago where I was like, okay, I'm gonna change my life.
You gotta tell us a little. Well, you can't just drop that and you gotta tell us a little bit. Okay, it's okay. I understand.
I really
if you don't.
want to.
I understand. Yeah.
In protection of my brand, that's the thing. That's like, I've grown so much as a person. Like a few years ago, I would have happily said it on camera, but like now I'm like, I realize that I have a lot of young kids looking up to me. I have a lot of corporations partnering with me. So I can't just say anything. And I know there are artists who can say and do anything, but for me, that's not my path. And that's not the brand that I've built now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think that's why you stay so busy. I think that's why you continue to get booked. Tell me about the Stingers thing. How did that happen? Because you're doing all of the halftime shows, right?
Yeah. So how the Stingers thing came, COVID. I was on tour in COVID, on my own tour, put together my tour in 2020. We did 5 cities. We had 5 more booked.
In the middle of COVID?
No. This was before COVID.
Okay.
Right before COVID. This was February 2020. February 2020, before COVID was a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember March 13th or 14th, I had the first date of the next 5 cities.
Right.
And then we're hearing whispers of some sickness and things closing down and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, okay, this is really bad. And my mom's like, look at the news. Like, you can't go on tour. You have to cancel your tour. And I canceled my tour, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it was a great thing I did. You know, I had to anyway. Yeah. But then after the whole 2020, not being able to tour, not being able to leave the house, that's why I got into media. I'm like, hey, let me at least buy a camera so I can make content and stuff like that. And then 2021, still on lockdown, but my American counterparts are opening up. They're going to parties, they're going to clubs, they're doing shows. So I'm like, I'll get down to the States.
Yeah.
I have my green card.
Yeah.
So I took a one-way trip down to the States. I was in the States for 6 months touring down there.
Nice.
And then I got an email from the Stingers saying, hey, we're hosting the championships. We want you to come perform. I thought it was a scam at first because I'm sure you get so many emails saying, hey, my name's Drake. I just need $500.
Yeah.
So they emailed me, reached out. I was like, awesome. Flew back home to Canada, performed for them in 2021.
Did they just see something on social media, or how did
I
they?
have no clue. Most likely, because I was very active and am very active on social media. So I assume that's how they saw who I was. I didn't reach out to them or anything like that. I was blown away. I was truly humbled. It was a great experience in 2021. They called me back again in 2022. They called me back again in 2023. Cool. We got big things planned for 2024. So it's been amazing.
Dope, man.
So ultimately that came from just hustling, just grinding, just putting in the work. I don't know who's watching. I don't know who's listening. All I know is that I got to keep going. I got to push the needle every day so that opportunities can come my way. And the kid who's at home who wants to be a rapper but doesn't think he's able to do it, or wants to be a pianist, or wants to be a soccer player. Every day, just keep going every day and you'll get there.
Yeah. So what did you think that you wanted to be? What was your vision board when you were 10 years old? Because it wasn't music.
No, it wasn't.
So what was it? What were you doing at the time? Were you going to be a baller? What were you?
I was going to play sports. Guess the sport.
Basketball.
No. Hockey.
Oh, really?
Hockey, yes. I loved hockey.
Yeah?
I wanted to be the next Joe Ginla.
You got to talk to my 10-year-old.
Okay.
He's loving hockey right now.
Okay.
He's playing his first hockey season ever. And he's
wow.
like, I don't have a hockey bone in my fucking body at all. And so when he said that, and I can skate though, but I never really, my brother and I can both skate, but yeah, we never really picked up a stick or played with a puck or anything. And so he tells me, Red tells me that he wants to play hockey. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, there aren't too many things that he comes and approaches me with that he wants to do. He's super excited about.
Yeah.
He started playing street hockey with his friends at recess and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, you got to learn to skate first. You learn to skate this summer, and then
wow.
we'll put you on a team. And so yeah, you gotta meet him and give him some tips.
I'd love to.
So you were playing.
I played hockey. I played high level. I played Bantam AAA here in the city for Southside Athletic Club. Won provincial
Unreal.
champs.
Let's
played
go.
midget AAA. I played junior A for the Camrose Kodiaks.
Oh,
Stuart
gee.
Skinner is my teammate. We
Really?
played Bantam AAA together. We won provincial champs. I
Let's
probably have like 10
go.
to 15 friends who have been drafted to the NHL. Jake DeBrusque on the Bruins was my other teammate.
Okay.
A lot of names that I played with. So yeah,
Yeah.
hockey was my sport. I loved hockey. My 10-year-old self would say I'm gonna be in the NHL.
Yeah, man.
And then I was playing in Camrose and I busted my knee.
Yeah.
So then after that, I'm like, okay, well.
When
this-
was that? How
this
old were you?
was, maybe I was like 17.
Okay.
Yeah, I was around 17, 18 years
That's a
old.
coincidental
'Cause
timing.
It was because I was going back and forth to Camrose. So how it works when you're in midget, you'll get signed to a team or get drafted. If it's WHL, if it's AJHL, you get signed.
Yeah.
So I was signed at 15.
Yeah.
And from 15 to 17, I was going back and forth. So
Yeah.
15, 16 going back and forth. 16, 17, I was on the team. I was on the roster playing.
Yeah.
So then I busted up my knee.
Yeah.
And then it was like maybe 5-month recovery time. And then during the downtime when I came back to Edmonton, I'm like, man, I just want to make some money. I don't want to just wait around. And long story short, I was around the wrong people. And at that age, you're so malleable, right?
Sure.
Your mind is so malleable. And I went a certain direction instead of the hockey direction.
Yeah.
So that's why I stopped playing hockey.
Yeah.
But I love hockey. I literally have dreams. Like
Yeah.
I'll go to bed and have dreams of playing hockey.
Do you still play now?
I do.
Okay.
Not on a team, but I play
Just
for
like a
fun.
men's
in the
league or
ODR.
whatever?
Not even men's. I don't have time. I'd love
Okay.
to play men's league, but I just don't have the time. I go
Yeah.
to the ODR. I literally have my stick and skates in the car.
Yeah, yeah.
At all times, all winter.
Yeah,
just pull
yeah.
up to the rink if I got like 30 minutes, dangle around with some strangers, make some friends, and then
Yeah.
go back to the studio or wherever I'm off to.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so dope. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to meet Red and give him some tips. He'll be excited about that.
Love to.
Yeah, he's a big Oilers fan. Okay, so I mean, transitioning from, I mean, there's a lot of things that apply. You learn, what would you say is like the most important skill that you learned in hockey and being part of a team that has transitioned to your musical career or even life? Were there lessons that you learned on a team
Certainly.
playing?
As you know with hockey, and you'll figure out with Red, hockey is the sport of chirping.
Yeah.
You know, you're just chirping all the time. And
Yeah.
like, even with your teammates, you guys will be chirping each other. You'll be
Yeah.
chirping the other team. So I
Really?
definitely,
Okay.
yeah, you'll learn. You'll
I
see.
know ball is like that, right?
Ball's like that. Hockey's definitely like that.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, I developed tough skin.
Yeah.
I developed a quick tongue.
Yeah.
And I also developed teamwork.
Yeah.
You know, I learned that you have to play your role. Not everyone can be the first line center who gets a hat trick every game. Not everyone can be Connor McDavid.
Right.
You know, you have to play your role, and if you don't play your role, you'll be forced into a role.
Yeah.
So I learned some valuable lessons from hockey. Definitely made some valuable friends from hockey.
Yeah.
There's some friends and some coaches that I still am in touch with to this day. So
Yeah.
hockey was a huge part of my life. I went to Vimy Ridge. I was in the hockey academy from grade 7 to 10.
Yeah.
Playing AAAs like 5 days a week.
It's
like-
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Red is U11, and I get like 50 notifications a day on Team Snap. It feels
Yeah.
like there's just so much stuff going on. There's a
Yeah.
practice and a game every week. There's a lot of time commitment. So who was driving you around for all that stuff? Your mom was?
My
or what?
mom, yeah. My dad's been in the States pretty much my majority of my life.
Yeah.
So is my mom. She'd drive me around, but when she's not able to, she was working like 2 jobs. I'd
Yeah.
have to take the bus.
Yeah.
So I'd be on the bus, ETS,
All your
with my
stuff,
hockey bag,
all
2
your
sticks,
gear.
in a game day, because he might be too young now, Red, but
Yeah.
in a couple of years, he'll have to dress up, suit
Yeah.
and tie to games.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm suited and tied up.
I love that.
Hockey bag, sticks.
That's
in
the
the
dopest
minus
part.
30.
See these young men dressed up, you
Yeah.
know? I love
Yeah.
that. They're coming into games, but while Red's getting ready or whatever, or I see them coming and going, and
Yeah.
all these little, 13, 14-year-old
Yep.
young men dressed up proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about what you do right now?
I love being able to create a concept from my mind
Yeah.
and make it into a reality. everything. That's how you got this studio. You imagine this, you pieced it together, and now it's something that we can sit down and have a conversation in. So I love that about music. I love being able to have a melody in my head, have a flow in my head, have a video idea in my head, hit up the cameraman, grab the equipment, do this, do that, and then it's something that someone else can enjoy. And that's the best feeling.
You're so good at the marketing piece and the social media piece. Do you have any advice that you would give to other young artists and musicians that would help them in their career? What do you think is the biggest piece that helps add to the success that you're having?
Consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency, and do what you can with what you've got. I literally told you how I recorded my first song. And I was gassed, and I probably recorded like 10 songs the same way after that, and then bought like a $50 mic, and just do what you can with what you've got. I didn't always have a camera. I didn't always have the skills I had now, but I was using my phone to take videos. I was using this to do this, using that to do that. And then YouTube University, we were talking before the podcast. You can learn anything on YouTube. You can learn anything on Google. Educate yourself. You don't have to know everything. Just whatever you need to know, go do a quick search. I guarantee there's a 2-minute tutorial that'll teach you how to edit that photo or record that song. So just put it out there as well. I probably have over 200 songs out, got 30, 40 music videos out, and I should have 10 times the amount of that out. But that's still a lot in and of itself, because I'm just a big proponent of just putting it out there. Put it out there, put it out there, put it out there. You never know who's listening. You never know where it'll go. And people love to see a journey. They love the growth, because even I'll listen to my old songs compared to now, and it's night and day. And some of my songs that I've made, I don't even like them anymore. But at the time, I
hate
loved
my
it.
old shit.
I was gassed about it at the time. But
Yeah.
that's the growth that I like to see and that people like to see too. So
Yeah.
don't be scared to put it out. You're going to get criticism, but if
Yeah.
you don't get criticism, you're not doing anything that's worthy of criticizing.
100%. I just made a big point of that in the last episode. Like if nobody gives a shit, then nobody gives a shit. You're only going to get the haters and people saying something negative about you. There's always going to be that, but it's because you're onto something. It's because you're doing something, If you weren't doing something that was worthwhile, nobody would care. You know what I mean? So you're onto something when you've got haters that are saying stuff. That's really cool, man. And how do you think, it seems like you have you set your day up for success, right? What is your morning routine like? Because it looks like I see your videos, but look, you're jacked right now. You're looking clean and ripped, and it looks like you either you start or end your day with like a really good workout, and you post some of that stuff too.
Yep.
And you're right, like people want to see that journey, and it's not just about the music. So you're not always shoving music. In fact, I rarely see like there's performances and stuff like that, but it's never about you playing a single and you rapping your single on camera. No, it's the workout. It's the behind the scenes of this performance. Is I'm here at Belmont, I'm here at Sobeys, and sometimes you never even see the actual performance, but you're sharing the piece of the puzzle and the behind the scenes of the story, and that's why people love to follow what you do, because they get a little bit of a sneak peek into your life. How do you set your day up for success? What do you feel is the best thing that attributes your day to just be able to rock star your way through it?
So I wake up every day at 5 a.m. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm up at 5. I'm in the gym 5:30 at the latest. Usually
That's why
by
it's always dark
5:20.
as a mug.
Exactly, bruh. But it's peaceful. It's quiet in there.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I don't like waking up at 5. I'd rather sleep in. But once you're there, once I get moving, it feels amazing. And then I get back home maybe by 7:30, shower, eat, and then I'm on my computer doing some back end stuff, whether it's marketing for different clients, whether it's planning the next shoot, whether it's scheduling some stuff for the next trip, whatever it may be. And then in the evenings, that's usually when I do my own personal shooting. So I'll either go to the studio and shoot, go to a location and shoot. And then I try to go to bed early. I try to be in bed by 11 at the latest, 10, 11.
Well, you have to if you're getting up at 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I like to start my day as early as I can, because then by 9 o'clock, I've already been awake for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Some people are just waking up. It's not a competition.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that say, oh, don't sleep, da 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 da. This is how I operate.
Right.
And it works well for me. So
Right.
I enjoy waking up early because it makes me feel more productive, makes me be more productive throughout my day. So
yeah, good for you. I try to get up a little bit earlier. I get up about 6:30 these days, and then I've got young kids, so I got to get them going, and or at least help get them going. They're a little bit more independent these days now. But I used to get up earlier as well, and there's nothing like that quiet calm of and it's almost like there's a few select people who are up that early and certainly in most cases your family's not up early, and so I found when we had young kids there was a period of few months on and off where I would get up at 5 as well and just knock out one solid hour of something super productive, and I will have done some work and gone to the gym, and it's 9 o'clock and I feel like I've accomplished so much, and it really does set the rest of your day up for success when you're able to do that. So getting up early, that's the big one, hey?
Yeah, getting up early. I would tell everyone to try it.
Yeah.
Try it for a week.
Yeah.
You'll have more energy than you think, because you'll
Yeah.
think, oh, if I wake up at 5, I'll be tired. But like you said, you have young kids, so it's different for. I'm a single guy, or
Yeah.
not single. Sorry, baby, I'm not single. I'm not a single guy.
Yeah.
I'm in a
But your
relationship.
status is not married, is
I'm
what
not
you mean.
married,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't have kids, so I
Yeah.
have the ability to wake up early at 5. I have the ability to go to bed earlier. I'm
Yeah.
more or less on my own schedule.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, good for you. But even when you do, you can't make excuses for yourself. You got to create that schedule and create what works for you. And of course, when you have kids and family, it's different. You can't be completely selfish, but it's not an excuse. You can still create that time for yourself. And it's important because you're not able to show up for anybody else unless you can first show up for yourself and be the best version of yourself. And that only helps me be the best version of myself for my kids and for my wife. So I completely understand that. So what's up next, brother? What's happening in the music life? What's going on?
So right now I'm working on an Afro EP, an Afro mixtape with my boy Swego from Portland. He's a dope artist. Andy, my cousin. Shout out to Swego. We got 6-7 tracks we're gonna drop next month, an Afro EP, all Afro EP. Our plan for the rest of the year, we got several more. We're gonna drop 2 more EPs throughout the year. And then in December, we're gonna go back to Nigeria and perform.
Crazy.
Yes. Nigeria's a huge market. There's 220 million people there.
Unreal.
Yeah. And
Unreal. Have you ever been yet?
I've been there
like
a few
to perform?
times. Not to perform.
Okay.
Not to perform, but I've been there a few times. Last time I was there was right before COVID.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time relatively since I've been back.
Sure.
But as you know, ads, you run ads and stuff. Running ads in Nigeria, the cost per click, cost per view is so much cheaper than in America.
Really?
Yeah, way cheaper. And then Afro beats is huge. I started as a rapper. I still do rap, but like I've been doing a lot of Afro lately. Even the song that we're gonna do is Afro.
It's a banger.
It's a banger. And from the start of my music, my mom, after she got over the heartbreak, she's like, you gotta do Afro stuff. My uncles, aunties, cousins, everyone's like, you gotta do Afro, you gotta do Afro. And I'm like, nah, I'm a rapper, I rap.
Yeah.
And then in the past couple of years, I've been dabbling more into Afro, getting comfortable with it. And I see now Afro's popping off.
Yeah.
And I'm a Nigerian. So I might as well just tap into my roots. And I've been doing it. People are loving it. I'm loving it. So I'm excited for this tape we're gonna drop. I'm excited for the next 2 tapes to drop. And I'm excited for the end of the year when we go back home.
Sick, bro. Yeah, I got to be real with you too. I'm a rapper. I've always been a rapper. It's just kind of like that old school boom bap, hard hitting hip hop beat. That street style is what I like.
Yeah.
I'm not really an Afro beat type of guy. And you sent me a bunch of options of songs to perform at the end of the pod. And this one was just like, yo, right away. So even someone it's not like I wouldn't go out of my way to bump this genre of this style of music in my car until like you've made me a believer. You know what I mean? This song is a banger, man.
Thank you.
I'm honored that you are giving me the opportunity to rock this with you in the booth.
Hey, my pleasure, man.
How did this song come together? Like give me the little history and the backstory on this song in particular.
So I was just in the studio, just looking up different Afro beats. You know, I had some producers sending me beats too, so I'm listening to different beats. And I think the beat was called Ordinary or something like that. So I just started going.
It always inspires like a lyric or something,
you already
right?
know. You already know.
100%.
So that's how it started. That's literally how the beat started and how the song started. And then I'm happy you liked it too.
Yeah. And so tell us a little about the chorus. We ain't ordinary people. What does this mean? What does that chorus mean to you? Describe it to us.
So what it means to me is like, on my worst day, I live better than a lot of people on their best day. And not even just me, you do. A lot of us do in the Western world. There's people all over the world going through different political turmoil and a whole bunch of things that are out of their control or maybe in their control. But long story short, we're blessed.
Yeah.
We're alive, we're healthy, we're able to do what we love, we're blessed. So I'm not an ordinary person by any scope. My pocket's never feeble. I've never gone hungry. I've never been homeless in Jesus' name. You know, we've always had more than enough, always been able to give and be generous and bless other people. They watching me like a sequel. As you know, people are always watching when you're doing things, you're making moves, you're doing
What's next?
Exactly. What's next?
What's
There's
next?
people watching to support. There's people watching to hate. Either way, they're watching.
They're watching.
So I appreciate they watching.
Yeah.
And they watching like a sequel.
Preach, brother.
I say higher
preach.
than the eagle. You know, I feel very high. I feel very fly. I don't smoke weed, but I feel very high. You know, we outside, we living the life we want to live. It's a dopamine hit when you're able to do what you want to do. It's a dopamine hit getting off stage. It's a dopamine hit when you're off. Perform halftime for the singers. I go to the side. There's 300 kids mobbing me. I can't even move. That's a high.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I don't need anything else to get me. So I feel higher than the eagle.
Yeah.
Big clip never reload. That's self-explanatory. Big clip never reload.
Yeah, man.
Big bank never zero.
Yeah.
Play life like a cheat code, because I feel like life is a game.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard that saying a lot. I didn't understand it. And the older I got, I'm like, it is a game. You get to build your character per se. A lot of things happen to people that we can't control, but we get to choose how we respond. So I'm just playing like it's a cheat code. I got, like you mentioned earlier in the podcast, I got the media, I got the editing, I got the studio. It's like a cheat code, but all these things I had to acquire them. I had to work hard to get them. I had to work hard to keep them. I have to work hard to know how to use them.
Yeah.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, all that work to the ordinary person is like a cheat code, because they're like, oh, well, yeah, of course OG's videos are dope. He's got this and that and that and this, but like I didn't
always have that, man.
Exactly. I didn't start with that. I work hard for it. No one said, hey, here's this, here's that.
Yeah.
I work very hard, and I expect the people around me to work hard too, and I don't want handouts. I want to work for something, because then you can't hold it over my head and say, oh, I gave you this, I gave you that. Like, no, I earned it. So that's
and
the
even
premise.
if you have that, even if you have the same tool that you have, it doesn't mean that you can necessarily apply it the same way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I can have all of the same ingredients as a master chef, and I can't make that same meal. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You great. You got an A7S3, and what?
Exactly.
So what?
Exactly.
Like I could, you could probably make a better phone on someone's iPhone than somebody who doesn't know what they're doing with an A7S3.
Yep.
So it's all about the way that you apply those things and those skills. And it's not just the tool that you have or this thing that you've acquired. You've worked hard at a skill and a craft to be able to use that tool and apply it.
Yes.
I like to ask all of my guests on this show, if you could go back to, I say your 20-year-old self because most of the cats I interview are OGs, but you are an OG, literally. But that's only 5 years ago for you. But if you were speaking to, let's say, these other 17-year-olds who are on the cusp and wanting to move out of their place like you did, what is the one piece of advice that you would give your 17-year-old self?
I would say to decide what you want to do and go for it, and cut out distractions. Don't get sucked by your friends. Don't get sucked into the distractions. Don't get sucked into the partying and the clubs and wasting money on all things that don't matter. Find what you want to do and start early. Because I'm sure you've heard this saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So if I started making music in high school, if I started when I was even 17, because I was like 19 when I started making music.
Yeah.
So if I started earlier, I'd be further. However, everything happens in due time. But the best advice I would tell myself and any young kid listening is find out what you want to do and start early. Go all in. Now you're in the technological age. These kids grew up with TikTok on their phones in elementary. I didn't get Facebook till like I was in junior high, maybe. I got Instagram in high school. I know that for a fact, right?
Yeah.
And then So yeah, just start early, post it. Don't be scared of what people think. Just post it, put it out. My little brother plays football. I tell him, post it, post it, post it.
Yeah.
Sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's got videos that have hundreds of thousands of views of his football clips. I'm like, keep going, keep posting it. But like, he's doing his thing. He's still well known. So luckily it's working out for him. But I wish he posts more. And I wish that everyone posts more. Even me, I wish I posted more.
Yeah.
But like the biggest thing is find what you want to do and just go at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for you, man. Last but not least,
Yes.
tell us about the grills. What are you shout out to Canadian Diamond Boys and Kicks, baby. What are you working with? Just tell us what's going on there, bro.
Hey, shout out to Kicks, Diamond Boys, as RJ just said. We got the 8 top, 8 bottom diamond cut. I've had these for since 2018. Outside. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they did the custom pendant, the YGMG pendant. And they did the Africa pendant.
Let's
You already know. They got your
go.
boy iced out. If you need
Hey.
jewels, go to Canadian Diamond Boy. Shout out to Kicks.
Shout out to
Dow
Kicks,
Jones.
baby.
Let's go.
Dow Jones. You know, I just found out recently that Dow Jones, what was his hip hop group from back in the day from Winnipeg?
I don't know the name, but he showed me the videos and they're sick.
What is the name? Now it's gonna bug me. But I remember those cats. Like when
Oh,
they
no
showed me the
way.
video, I remember because my group, Dark Sun Tribe, back in the day, you know, like 2007, and for maybe, you know, another 5 to 7 years after that. I remember those guys, and I remember seeing the videos and seeing it on Much Music, because it wasn't like YouTube
Yeah.
at the time. It was like when you made it onto Much Music, that was a big deal, you know? And I remember seeing those guys. So a shout out to Dow Jones, man. Those guys, I really looked up to those cats too. I didn't realize that he was working with Kicks and they partnered on that stuff, and they didn't realize who he was. So another OG.
Nah, he's dope. He's
What
dope.
is an OG? Give the background on the name again before we go. What is this? Because it's not what you would think, right?
So the background for me is only greatness.
Yes.
I was calling myself OG Jonah before I started making music because, as I said, I moved out when I was 17. I had 3 cars at 17. I had an Audi A4, I had a BMW 325, and I had a
Fast life though,
Volkswagen.
bro? Fast life?
Fast life. So I was an OG around my friends, but I was a youngin' around all the other OGs. So that's
Right.
why I felt like an OG. So I was calling myself OG Jonah before I started making music. And then when I started making music, I said, well, I already have a pseudonym, you know? People call me OG Jonah. Might as well run with that actually, I'm gonna be honest. At first, when I started rapping, the only Edmonton rapper I knew was DZ the Don.
Hey.
And my initials are CJ.
Yeah.
Shout out to DZ the Don. So I was like, okay, I'm CJ the Don. But then my friends are like, you can't just steal this guy's
No,
name.
no,
And shit.
no,
So I was like, okay, I'll change it up. OG Jonah. Because people already knew me as OG Jonah.
Let's
So,
go.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
funny how that stuff sticks, right?
Exactly.
It's like my rap name too. Is that my family always called me Jing. My mom's got a thick Filipino accent, so it went from my real name is Richard James, RJ, to Arjing, and then it just became Jing. Come here, can you bring me that one, Jing? Come here, don't forget your panty. She calls all Filipino. They call underwear panties.
That's
Like,
like my mom.
Mom, why you? I don't wear panties. Arjing, don't forget your panties. And yo, shout out to Mom Dukes, man. Mom and Pops, I love you. Listen, OG, this has been a real treat, man. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
YEG's one of YEG's most influential people, truly for a reason. Only greatness. I 100% believe that. I'm excited for the greatness that is going to continue coming in your life. I congratulate you on all the success that you've been having over the last few years. And again, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you for coming on the show, sharing your greatness with us, and for allowing me to rock on this banger of a song with you, bro. Should we go jump in the Get Shit Done booth and get shit done?
I'm ready, but I want to say thank you for having me. I've been watching the podcast. It's amazing. The space is amazing. The platform's amazing. The conversation's amazing. As you said, the way we met, we clicked right off the bat. I'm like, this guy's dope. This guy's someone who I wanna connect with in any way, shape, or form. So I really appreciate you having me here, man.
Hey, man, we'll do it again. The pleasure's all mine, brother.
Let's hop in the booth, man.
Let's get it done. Let's go.
Yeah, OG. Yeah, you know, we here live on Behind the Sound. Ordinary people, and my pocket never feeble, yeah. They're watching me like a sequel. I stay higher than an eagle, yeah. Big clip, never reload.
Yeah.
Big bank, never zero. Play life like a Chico.
Check it.
I know be ordinary
Yo.
people, yeah.
I never reload the clip, OG know the hits, lyrical spits, and we go from 0 to this, and I'm a hero in my own show, this ain't a sequel. We know that ordinary people ain't equal, this ain't a brag post, this a fact, bro. Let me paint a canvas and make it actual. I got an act for the ads and the boom bap rap, so when I do that, they like, who that cat? Never fold, never flop, never back down. Getting old, never stop, who the Mac now? In the shows, in the booth, make a pop now. Podcast on the climb to the top now. How? Who, what, when, the where? In the city of champs, do I intend to share? Yes, I am. You ain't gotta tear them down just to beat them. Everybody here gotta eat
I
and
know
I'm
be
feed
ordinary
'em.
people.
Yeah.
And my pocket never feeble, yeah. They're watching me like a sequel.
OG,
I stay higher
baby.
than an eagle, yeah. Big clip, never reload. Big bank, never zero.
Yeah,
Play
yeah,
life like a
yeah.
Chico.
OG,
I know
baby.
be ordinary people, yeah. Hey.
name is Jing, and this is live on Behind the Sound, baby. If you don't already know, you better motherfucking know.